The UN envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, has said he plans to meet with US President-elect Donald Trump's transition team. He also said high-level talks with the US and Russia are likely.
Was that there are unlikely discussions on Saturday between Russian Federation and the US and ourselves in order to address the possible voluntary withdrawal of all fighters, armed opposition fighters in eastern Aleppo. All of them, not just al-Nusra. That is something that needs to be seen.
So Sandra Gathmann has moved from Gaziantep near the Turkish-Syrian border. Sandra, we heard the UN Special Envoy there are talking about rebel withdrawal from East Aleppo. Is this the only option left, isn't it?
Indeed, the last 10 days, Aisha, have produced irreversible gains for the Syrian regime. And by all accounts, on the ground in East Aleppo, there is nothing left of the city but rubble and civilians. We can expect some fighting to continue. The rebels are steadfast in their opposition to Bashar al-Assad and in trying to maintain their revolution, but their forces have severely been weakened. And despite their defiance, many reports say that some of the groups have begun retreating. So this is the decisive phase now. The US and Russia are holding these high-level talks. A host of other countries trying to pressure a diplomatic solution. But Russia and the Syrian government have always maintained that a full withdrawal of all rebel groups is the only thing that they will settle for. So the opposition now are trying to get on board, I think, with a plan that will be palpable for everyone to accept and for these armed groups to at least be given the option of evacuating on their preferred routes and to their preferred areas.
So Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov said that Syrian army has suspended the operation. What's the latest on the evacuation of the civilians?
Indeed. Well, first of all, it's worth saying that this isn't a formal truce. The Syrian government and its ally Russia have stopped their attacks, but it hasn't yet been met with a response from the opposition. We're not even sure how long this ceasefire will last. The rebels and 4 other international countries have proposed a 5-day ceasefire, but those 5 days haven't been delineated by the Russians or the Syrian forces. So that's the first thing. Secondly, reports on the ground suggest that some fighting is ongoing. So it's still a very dangerous environment for any humanitarian effort to happen. Rescue efforts, though, have been underway already. Red Cross aid workers have managed to get into the old city of eastern Aleppo, evacuating more than 140 injured civilians and handicapped patients from that elderly home. But they do describe that operation as being very complicated, having to reach that destination mostly on foot. And that's what we're hearing from other aid workers as well. Ambulances are struggling to get to the areas newly captured by the Syrian regime. And what they're presented with when they get there, Aisha, are harrowing scenes of human suffering and hundreds, if not thousands of people on a daily basis needing desperate aid, Aisha.
Thanks for that, Sandra Gathmann, live from the Turkish-Syrian border.